Damn, it feels good to be a gamer, feeding the noobs and helping with their kills. Although I was born in Antonica, now I'm in Fadwa making deals. Damn, it feels good to be a gamer. I mean, one that you don't really know. Riding around with my epic mount, so hitting switches on my N64. Now, games to ask brothers come in all shapes and colors. Some characters got killed in the past. But this gamer here is the smart one. Started living for the Lord and I last. But this, so all I gotta say to you gonna be magic card min-maxing pranksters, when it's time to roll initiative, what you gonna do? Damn, it feels good to be a gamer. You ever game? You a gamer? EK nods. EK obviously is a gamer. So I've been gaming. I've been gamed this past week, and I can't tell you how beneficial it was intellectually and mentally, and, for the care and feeding of my intellect and mental health. It's really important for people like me to game. I think for anyone with intelligence, to game. And let's get back in the Wayback Machine. Let's get in the Madman time machine and go back to a year like 1994. 1994, and I'm driving my parents' old car. It's an old beater. I bought off them for like $1,000 or something like that. I don't remember. And so, like every weeknight for like a month, I would go drive over to my friend Robert's house and we'd play the X-Wing game on computer on PC. And we'd separate the duties. Like one would be the pilot and one would be the R2 unit. And you'd shout at the R2 unit and need more power to lasers, need more power to shields or something like that. I need to select that that target. I need that TIE interceptor right there. And we'd have this fun way to play these games. And also at the same time, we were playing like Heroes Unlimited role-playing game, which I think I find that kind of gaming much more fun. But around, I guess, like, I want to say 96, 97 is when the Decipher Star Wars customizable card game came out. And my friend Robert didn't really get into that, but I had a couple other friends that did, one of them being Jonathan. But Jonathan wasn't until a couple years later, until after I was out of the Navy. So mostly I was the only one interested in the Star Wars customizable card game. And so eventually I joined the Navy in like 97, and then when I got to my duty station in Norfolk, I wasn't too far away here from Fredericksburg here. And so I was, I'd get a day off, and it's not long enough for me to like go home, come up to Fredericksburg. I'd take my time off, and I usually get 48 hours off, and that's not long enough to go back home. But I'd get 72 hours, and I'd go home. But on my 48s, now I'm remembering, it's all coming back to me now, right, Celine? And so, yeah, it's like I'd have a day off, and I'd go down to this Navy Exchange, and there's this little card store in the Navy Exchange, and they're selling these packs of Star Wars customizable card game cards. And like every week, I'd go in there and I'd buy one of the boxes. It was a box set of like 5 or 6 packs, unopened packs of Star Wars customizable card game cards. And I'd get like a sub from Subway, and I'd sit there and I'd eat my sub, and I'd look over the new cards I got, and then I'd go home and assimilate them into decks and stuff like that. I was also playing Heroes Unlimited when I was in the Navy with a bunch of other sailors in my barracks and so forth. And it was like during that era, the end of that era is when I created Jackrabbit. And so that's from the book, The Bunny Years, a memoir. But as I was coming back home quite often, I was seeing my friends in town. So I'd see Jonathan, and he got really interested in the Star Wars customizable card game. And we played that a bunch, and in many ways, that is a real, like, it's the smartest one of the card games I've ever seen. I've played Magic. I've seen people play Pokemon. It all seems real basic to me in comparison to the Star Wars customizable card game. And, Jonathan's one of my smarter, more intelligent friends. And so he really loves the intellectual aspect, because you have things on cards. It's like, the square root of 3 times the dark side force icons, plus or minus the square root of A, B number of light side force icons, and get the square root of all that, the third root of all that, or whatever. There's complicated math involved, and it's what I hate about the game, because I hate math. But here's the thing. A few years ago, my friend Robert got me into this Star Wars miniatures game, this X-Wing miniatures game, where you get little X-Wings and TIE fighters, and you zoom across the table, and with movements and attack phases and stuff like that. And that's pretty cool. And so over the last couple of weeks, my friend Jonathan has been coming down, and we've been playing the Star Wars miniatures game, and we've been playing Star Wars customizable card game. we've been playing this game for over like 25 years. You know, we've been perfecting our decks over the years. You know, we'll have conversations about these decks. It's like, well, the problem with this deck is X, Y, Z. You know, and then you sit there and have a conversation. My friend comes down. He's got some time to play some games with me. He comes down. He brings a cigar. He comes and stinks up my basement with the lovely sweet scent of a cigar. I'm not a fan of cigars myself, but I do love the secondhand smoke of them. I know it's a controversial opinion, but he'd sit there, we have a cigar, and we play the Star Wars game, discuss the decks. It was like, what's good about them, what's bad about them, how to make the deck better or worse, you know. And it's so good to take time in that regard, because so much of our modern entertainment is terribly passive. And I'm talking about like all the videos you watch, all the, you know, the streaming services you have, and even the video games. You know, people thought that like games like EverQuest or World of Warcraft would replace like physically sitting in a room with like four or five of your best friends and playing a role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons or Heroes Unlimited. You know, it's absurd to think that would ever be better. And I think it's because, you know, as the modern era came around, you know, you'd have these gaming sessions, and then you'd have somebody who's in like a social group with you on a Facebook or something like that. And they're like, oh, I keep hearing about your games. I would love to sit in on a session on Skype while there's 4 or 5 other people in the room. And I don't think that works, you know? And so I think these kind of games for people who are intelligent, you know, it's good to lubricate your mind, the gears of your mind, with this kind of activity, you know, because I was suffering from writer's block until I started gaming with my friend, and then the next day I'm just typing away right in today's show. All right, so I felt like it's important for me to acknowledge that we've been playing this game for over 2.5 decades, you know, and we still love it, you know. And you know what? I never really have to get a software update. When it comes to the amount of cards we have, I don't think we need any more. You know, no software update, no monthly charge. You got some time off? Yeah, he's going to pick up some beer and a cigar. Come on down. Let's play some games. Anyway. I had fun this weekend is what I'm saying. If you haven't picked it up.